What up, gamers? Today we're going to talk about the latest news that's taking place with Fight of Gods. Okay, so for starters, we got a bunch of new characters. Last month we got Mazu. More recently, we got the hidden character Lamia, who could be unlocked in the game using the Konami classic code, up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, but in this case, it's low and medium attack, and that will unlock her from the character select screen. Another new character we got was kind of a holiday themed one. We got Santa Claus. That's what you're seeing right here. This was kind of unexpected. Really cool stuff. He actually plays really well. He has some really good special attacks. He's got like this chimney attack where he pops out of the ground. Kind of feels like something out of Mortal Kombat. This reindeer sleigh attack. Really interesting stuff. Lamia is actually a character from Lamia's Game Room. That's another game by Digital Crafter. It's only 99 cents on Steam if you want to pick that up. This game is also on sale for 30% off from now through December the 20th. You can pick it up. I believe it was $5.35 to buy this game. It's still in early access, but it is a fully functioning, fully working game. Some people said that they had some issues with the controls in this game. My advice, do not use a joystick. Okay, do not use an analog control, use a D-pad. Use an Xbox One or a 360 controller in Windows. Play it that way. Some joysticks it will work well with, some it will not. If the joystick feels more like around the lines of an analog control, it's probably not going to work. Now, some of the other concerns about this game, a lot of people said, hey, you know what, I don't want to buy this game because it doesn't have online multiplayer functionality. Well, they've addressed this issue. Digital Crafter has actually made a statement regarding the issues with Netcode and people wanting the multiplayer. So here's what they had to say. Netcode for online multiplayer remains a work in progress. We are facing some desynchronization issues and are trying to resolve them. Some of the issues require us to change the structure of the game. We plan to provide a beta version for you guys to test once we solve some of the critical issues, hopefully soon. Thanks for your patience in advance. So there you have it. They are working just to add online multiplayer functionality. It's coming at some point. This stuff is really tricky. Here they developed a game, and I don't think they took into account early on, oh, what about multiplayer? I went to college for this stuff. I used to be a programmer. It's never a walk in the park. Sometimes you have to reverse engineer everything to make it work. Hopefully they won't have to redevelop the entire game from the ground up, but it looks like they know what people want and they're working to give you what you want. Because that was like kind of one of the points where people said, I don't want to buy this game. I don't want to buy it because of the lack of online multiplayer. Well, it is coming at some point. The other really good thing about this game is that we're getting a lot of new characters. In less than 2 months, we've had 3 new characters added to the roster. So I thought that was really good too. So we're getting somewhere. Another thing too, early on, when this game first hit early access on Steam, a lot of people complained that the characters they were not balanced. Well, they're working to fix that, and we've seen some huge improvements with certain characters like Athena more recently. This past month, Athena now has new attack maneuvers, including a dash attack. I noticed that she did not have before. She has long chain combos now, so they are working to balance out the characters in the game. Some really had an advantage over others. One of the characters that really had a huge advantage over some of the other characters in the game was Anubis that you see here. He really does. He has really good, he's fast, he has a good reach in his attacks, he has really good long range combos, and he kind of feels like he has the upper hand. Well, they're working to smooth that out. They haven't provided massive updates to all the characters. They have fixed some things like the hitboxes and so forth. So it's getting better. There's been some huge improvements there. It's going to take some time. I do recommend buying this game. It is so cheap right now. It's going to go up in price. Now, what about more new characters? Other people are asking about that. When are we going to see more characters? It looks like we could be seeing a new character or some new characters coming January. There's supposed to be some announcements made January regarding the newest gods that are going to be added to the game. We may see one that month. We may not. I don't know yet. I'm going to talk to Digital Crafter soon and see if we can shed some light on that. There is a voting system that's available. You can go on Steam, and we're going to include a link below in the description of the video. You can go and you can vote. You're going to vote for a god that you want to see in the game. Now's the time to do it, because they're going to put together a short list based on the total tally of votes. And if you want to see a certain god included, now's the time to do it. They have other gods, like I said, that they're working on. Balancing characters, that's another thing. This is kind of a balancing act. They're making it their priority right now to work on things like the netcode, so we get the multiplayer, and the new characters. Those are currently their highest priorities, and which is good, because you know what, people want characters. Now there's another issue that a lot of people have complained about that has not been addressed, and I'm going to see if I can talk to Digital Crafter this coming week and shed some light on this as well. And it's the fact that people are saying, well, a lot of the characters don't have a lot of fighting maneuvers. It kind of feels like, maybe there could be more special attacks. We have 2 power gauges. That's great. Can they add more? Well, that takes time. They have to program this stuff into the game. It's not a walk in the park. But that's something I would like to see in the game too. I think a lot of us would like to see is more new fighting skills being added. The long chain combos for most of the characters are pretty good. Other ones not so much. But I'd like to see, where each character doesn't just have one special maneuver or two. They have like 4 or 5 to give, players a variety. One of the things I noticed that if you play the versus mode in the game, you can play up to 5 rounds, and then it's 3 out of 5 matches. If you play that way, it's really challenging. If you put it on the hardest difficulty setting, it seems like you get to that 3rd match, and it really, the AI really nails on you for that 3rd match and on. But as far as multiplayer goes, well, it could be a few months before we actually see that become a reality. Hopefully sooner than later, because a lot of us, we would like to play with our friends. We would like to play online in public matches, maybe ranked matches. That would be really good. Have a ranking system for players, kind of like we see with games like Tekken and Street Fighter and so forth. That would be great. I would be all for that. Ranking system would be dope. There has been some other enhancements in the game, system changes, how fast the power gauges fill, much faster now. They have more uses, and it looks like they've made an effort to decrease the amount of damage from supers. And it looks like some of the supers were doing so much damage, it was like it could take off 3/4 of your life early on. It looks like they patched some of that, they fixed it. Some of the new characters are really cool. I really like the fact they brought in the Santa Claus. I don't really see Santa Claus as being a god. This is kind of, at first it seems kind of strange, but it's really cool to play as Santa Claus in a fighting game. It's just not something you typically get to do. Now, Mazzy, that's the character you see here on the screen. She came out about a month ago. Really, she's she's the Chinese goddess of the sea. Really good, really powerful attacks, very fast moving. She has shadow attacks. If you remember JoJo's Bizarre, the comic book series, and the games from Capcom, you can see she has this shadow character that comes out and attacks her opponents. I thought that was really cool. That's not something you see a lot in fighting games, but that really reminded me of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And this is actually her stage that we're playing on now. So we're going to keep you guys updated as things develop and as more news comes in. It's really great to see we got all these new characters coming in, because let's face it, you know, one of the things that most fighting games lack is updates. You know, you come out with a new Street Fighter game, you know, well, gamers want more new characters, they want more new features, and if they don't get it, they get bored with it, and they don't want to play it anymore. And that makes sense. I totally understand that. But yeah, I do recommend getting this game now, before December the 20th. We have just 4 days left. You can get it in the US for $5.35. It's really cheap. If you're brand new to this game, you haven't played it before, like I said, I don't recommend using a. I would test it out with a joystick. I think some joysticks will work good with this game. Some won't. I do not recommend using an analog stick. I recommend using the D-pad. It's the most responsive, especially for the special attacks. A lot of people are also saying that they're having problems pulling off special attacks in this game. Well, the trick with that is follow the standard Ryu and Ken Street Fighter convention: down, forward, and low attack. And that's all you have to do. And you really, some of the characters, in order to pull off their special attacks, you have to be standing right next to the character. And like in the case of Anubis, in order to pull off his special attack on your opponents, you need to be standing right next to your opponent. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Now, with other characters like Moses, his special attack, where he parts the Red Seas, he can be anywhere on the screen. He can be all the way across the screen from his opponents. So it really depends. For him to pull off a special attack, Moses can do it from halfway across the screen. Players like Anubis can't. So that's kind of the deal with that. Lamia from Lamia's Game Room, she seems to have, her attacks seem to travel a further distance too. Then you have other characters like Jesus. Jesus, his special attack goes straight up in the air, and his Rapture, and he can't, unless you're standing right next to your opponent, it's not going to hit them. And of course you can block specials, and you can also counter them. Sometimes countering them is a little bit harder, but more often than not, you can block. And that doesn't seem to be a huge problem. I really love that shadow attack. That is really cool stuff with Mazu. Hopefully, I don't know what gods we're going to be seeing next. It looks like a lot of people are calling for more Greek gods, because we already have so many in the game, you know. If you look at the character roster already, you know, we have like Athena, and we have Zeus, and characters like that, you know, so why not bring in more Greek gods and goddesses, because there's probably more of them than anything else, you know. We kind of went, you know, we have the more, the Christian characters like Jesus and the prophet Moses and so forth. And then we have a number of Chinese gods, Asian gods and goddesses like Guangdong, and characters like him. It's going to take some time, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see what new gods come out, what their capabilities are. One of the things I really can't wait for is the online multiplayer, and to see more fighting capabilities, more fighting maneuvers. Like I said, the long chain combos are really good for most of the characters, but why not add a few more dual button sequence attacks and so forth, charge attacks? That would be really cool. That's something we're not getting enough of in a lot of fighting games. Get some where you hit a certain button sequence, you hold down a certain button, and you charge up. That would be awesome to see in this game. Another thing that would be really good for Digital Crafter to add to Fight of Gods would be more stages to choose from, like Anubis stage, you know, the pyramids here. This is really cool stuff. I would like to see more Egyptian themed, inspired stages to play with Anubis, just to cut videos on YouTube and stuff, and it would add more depth to the game. Another thing that they mentioned is that it looks like Digital Crafter is focusing more on things like the storyline. You know, they're trying to add an enhanced story, both to you know, the arcade mode and to the characters overall. Of course, there's a lot of differences between these characters. There's a lot of implications involved that they stated they have to flesh out. That's going to take some time as well. So anyways, many thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos. Throw your feedback below. Definitely go check out Fighting Gods on Steam. Like I said, it's on sale from now till December the 20th. You can vote on the god of your choice if you get there now before they close it. And many thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.